Hi, everybody. Hi, let me say hi to people. Hi, Eliz, Carmi, Leah, Evie, MG, Carol, CZ, Jelma, Amy, Anne, Beth, Elizabeth, Gloria, Phaedra. Oh, Phaedra, you made it. A. Brown, Leah, Carol, Iris, Angel Star, JJ, Anne, Julie, Evangelista Alba, Namhar, CC, Beth, Dodger Girl is on Twitch, Lindsay, Sida, Deanna is on X, Elizabeth, Arlene, Debbie, Becky, Love, Lavisok, Lavisok, Paula, Michaela. Oh, wait, my dog wants to say hi. Okay, let me get your. Okay. All right. Diana, where am I? See, you broke my concentration. Halina, Mihaela. Seal is on X. Shell, Peaches and Cream, Chrissy. I am Claudia. Sarah, Bedon, Cindy, Tara, MJ, Teresa, One Hot Sean, Hazy, BB, one second, let me hide this. Suze, Dawn Marie, Sheila, Mama, Friend Slang, Didi, JJ's Man. I knew it. Bad habits, silly doggo. They're saying hi to you, baby. Mia, Reina, they're saying hi to you. You have to say hi. You also have to say, be polite. They say hi, you also say hi. Hi. I took a bath yesterday. I'm not a stinky dog. I bathed him. Yes, I was supposed to bring him to a groomer, and they were close. Melanie, hi. Elaine, MJ. He's very, very cute and very, very sweet. And he knows how to act kind and nice and a good boy when he's on camera. But he is a good boy. Okay, first I want to make an announcement. So in the list of topics that I posted on X or on Patreon and even on YouTube, I mentioned that I was going to talk about some updates on the injunction. So if you're here for that, I am sorry, but I'm not gonna do that. I won't be talking about the injunction. Maybe I'll mention it in passing, but I won't be mentioning. I won't be talking about it in length because I just realized that there's a lot of other things that I would rather talk about than that. Um, as I've said, I might mention it in passing, but not extensively. So if you are here for that, I'm really very sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me, but you don't have to stay tuned because, as I've said, I will not be talking about that in detail as I did in the previous live stream in the previous post. Loving Mona Lisa. Bang Luna, no, you're just in time, Bang Luna. I just said hello to everybody. So, first announcement, give me 1 second here. Did I post it here? So, there's a pop-up stage, not a pop-up stage, a pop-up store in LA from April to April 6th. The registration starts on the 19th, 1 p.m. Pacific. So, I've to everybody who's going to be joining us. So we have a group that's going to be joining me in the suite on the 4th, right? So outside of that, we're trying to organize like a barbecue, not a barbecue, but we go to a Korean barbecue. I don't have that big of a place to accommodate everybody. So we wanted to go to a Korean barbecue. Before that, I said if anybody wants to go to the pop-up store, we can go together, but we do need to register on the 19th. Okay, so you have to go online and register on the 19th. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Like maybe there's a time slot, like just you choose which time you're going to go. So hopefully, if you can all register right around the same time, maybe we can go together in the store. Otherwise, then, then it's going to cause like chaos in the scheduling because we might not be able to go in together. So my plan for the Korean barbecue is to go 1 p.m. So it's like past lunchtime, because if we go lunchtime it's like going to be chaos. So it is late lunch. So if I can just ask everybody to do like um a late breakfast, like a brunch, so that you're not super hungry by 12, so that right around 1 to 1:30 will just be fine. Okay? So, and then to everybody who has messaged me, as I've mentioned, I don't want to um collect payment for the suite until I actually get the tickets, and they told me that I will get it 10 days before the event. So I will text everybody. I'll create a group within the week so that I will let you guys know how to pay me once I get the ticket, so that when you pay me, then I can send you the ticket. Um the Phaedra is asking, do you gotta pay to go inside the pop-up store? No, you don't really have to pay. Um no, you don't have to pay. You can just go inside, and if you can buy if you want. If there's anything that you like, you can buy it. If there's nothing you like, you don't have to buy. Bryna May Patrona, I'm watching from the Philippines. Hello. Did you guys know that our former president is currently in prison in Netherlands? I just remember because she said she's from the Philippines. Hi, Bryna. So that's the situation. That's why I haven't really asked anybody. I haven't really given my payment details to everybody, because I want to wait until I have the ticket in my hand, so that I can immediately send it to you once you send me the payment. So that's the whole situation. But within the week, I'm going to create maybe a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group, just one. I can maintain many, just so it's easier to coordinate, because we can do Patreon, but it's faster if it's like texting. So maybe WhatsApp or Patreon. Okay, do you have questions about that? um I haven't really gotten the final word as to whether or not I can actually bring in my giveaways inside the suite. I hope I can. If not, then I'll just give it to you the next day when we see each other, or maybe meet you after or something like that. I don't know. But hoping that I could actually bring in the gifts, because they're in bags. They're not like small things. Can't find the LA pop-up operating hours for Saturday. Carla girl, do we set pop-up on our own? Yes, the registration is individual. So you have to log in to Weavers. Where's that? You need to register. You have to go in and register by yourself. So since it'll open, registration is going to open 3/19, so March 19th. Today the 17th, 1 p.m. is when it's going to be open for registration. You have to log in. If you can, if we can log in right around the same time, so we get the same time slot. Otherwise, then we can't go together if it's different time slots that we're given. Okay. Beth said, I finally got Patreon, so I follow you on there. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's just easier. I think eventually I might close the messaging of either my Instagram or or X, just because it's so hard to maintain all the communication. So I will probably just keep either Patreon and X or Patreon and IG. I'm still thinking about it. It's just so hard to maintain everything. uh Carla girl, what time is everyone going? So my plan for a Korean barbecue is one right around 1:30. Um, and so before that or after that, before that or after that, or I mean, if you get like a time slot that's like 1 o'clock, then I would understand. Of course, you have to go. That's like so. Yeah. One hot Sean said, Friday operating hours 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Oh, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday to Sunday, operating hours would be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Becky said, I am having trouble seeing photos in Weavers. I see the live streams, but not the individual photos J-Hope is sharing. Oh, why? Are you accessing it on your phone? Try accessing it on a computer. Or if you're accessing it on your computer, try accessing it on your phone. I'm Evangelista said, I'm attending April 6th, my first concert, and will not be seating on a suite. I'm on floor C2, row 2. I do want to meet you, girl, for lunch. So I just join the group that I will create. If you're in my Patreon, I will announce the once I create the group. Then just join us so that we can all coordinate. What time are you guys going to the pop-up? So that depends on what's the time slot that you can pick. So whatever the time slot is that you can pick, that's when you have to go. So they usually assign because they don't want everybody all at the same time, and also of course they also don't want you to just they can't afford a long queue outside. So they usually like assign a specific time that you can go. But as I've said, I'm planning the Korean barbecue right around 1:30. So if it would be good if you can go either before or after, or if there's no other slot, then it's okay. We'll understand. Okay. Halina said, please don't forget to like. Yes, please like the video. My Weaver's photos work on data, but not on Wi-Fi. It's a glitch. You're welcome, etc. Okay. All right. So there are certain things that I wanted to celebrate with you guys. One of which is that Jimin has now surpassed Dynamite as the longest charting Korean song from a Korean native inside Billboard Hot 100. And I've always mentioned that we need to celebrate this because it is a we're raising the bar, right? The record of Dynamite has been there for like 3-4 years, so it's about time that we raise the bar. I am absolutely not worried about BTS not holding the record because they will get it back again once they come back. Come on, so it's just important for us to raise the bar. So good job for him. So Miss Kim is asking, or any advice on new army? I missed the first part of your message. Oh, okay. There you go. Um, Miss Kim, hi. I just got here. I am going to see J-Hope in San Antonio next week. Are they selling light sticks? I couldn't get one that would be shipped in time. Also, I'm a new army 1 year, or anyone going to that one. So there's a lot here that will be going to San Antonio. There's actually a group that's in a suite. What day are you on? As for the light stick, they usually sell light stick on the venue. I would be very surprised if they don't sell light sticks there. But usually they have a list of merch that you can buy. So go check the website if they will have it so that you can just pick it up. So that's usually what happens. Now, it is also not impossible for weavers to have just run out of is that even possible? They just run out of light sticks and decide not to sell it because my guess is that they're going to come out with a new version when the boys come back, when they reunite. By the way, we're down to 2 digits now for all the members. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. So there most likely there's going to be some light stick available, but if they don't, I won't be surprised because they are probably going to um come out with a new version. However, remember that if you do decide to buy on the venue, the queue is super long. It's going to be super long. So Usually they announce what time they will open the store. You have to be there the time that they open the store, or you might not make it because the line is just so long. Okay. Mickey said there are so many tickets available for Texas concerts. Oh, Mickey said that there's still a lot more tickets available for Texas. Okay. Did anyone see the South Korean newspaper regarding the BTS reunion concert being discussed at Sangam Stadium? I hope so. I hope that it happens, but I haven't seen that article yet. Yeah, but I hope that it happens. I mean, I hope that it happens for us. I mean, for armies. The bigger the venue, then more people can go. Because I definitely want to experience doing watching them in a Seoul concert, in a concert in Seoul. The only time I've ever done it was Red Bullet. I think it was Red Bullet. So I would like to do it again. Um, Others are saying the name BTS is shadow banned here because their views are very low. I heard that too. I heard that too. Um, okay, so let's go through some of the Billboard announced some major changes in terms of the things that they're going to be considered for ranking. So they changed the charting rules, basically, the requirements for a song sales to be counted in Billboard 200. So to clarify, this is just the first set of changes. This is not the finals. They still are going to be releasing new, and they're going to be announcing new changes in the next several days. So maybe weeks, maybe up until April. I don't know, but there's a lot of changes that's going to happen. So for today, I'm just going to discuss the things that they've already, in fact, my X is actually open because I want to wait until if they are actually announcing more changes. Okay. So um let's go through each of the changes that they've just announced, and let's understand the implications and who are the artists that are most likely going to be affected by it, and then let's analyze if these are actually good changes or if it's like nah. Okay, let's see. Carla girl, BB making changes again. Well, you know, there's one guy who's threatening to stay on the charts for 40 weeks. Okay, name Park Jimin. Okay, so one of the major changes they did is the color of Billboard Hot 100, which I think is horrible. Look at that color scheme. Who wants that? this is this is how they used to announce their top 10 for Billboard Hot 100, and then they're shifting to this one. And like, who the hell told you this is a good aesthetic? Look at that color combination, right, baby? Do you not like it? I don't like it. But anyway, so this is how it's going to be announced on the left. On the right is the old one. Okay. All right, first announcement. So they said Billboard and Luminate rule changes to album charts have begun to roll out. Initial changes were quietly introduced with releases beginning February 28th, and more changes are expected in April or until April. So that depends on when they're going to, how they're going to decide to announce the changes. Okay, Billboard rule change effective February 28th, which they have not told anybody about. What is it? Why did I scare you? Okay. What is it? You got spooked. Okay, so first is that digital albums sold via an artist label or other official web stores must now be redeemed in order to be chart eligible. In addition, verification using CAPTCHA is now required to prevent bots. So if you go, remember we go to BTS online store, and that's where we buy digital singles and digital albums. For those to be counted, buying it is not enough. You actually need to download it. Okay. So make sure that if you're going to support BTS by buying their single and their albums, that you're also downloading it. You have to download and not just buy. Okay. All right. And why? Because they don't want they don't want it to make it easy on people to manipulate sales. So they want to, at the very least, do everything that they can so that they're counting not just the sale itself, not just the purchase, but also the engagement. So it's not enough that you're buying it. You have to at least make an effort to listen to it. Now, are you actually going to listen to it once you have the file? That's up to you, and they won't be able to actually track it. But you do need to download it. So make sure download it. Okay. Next, oh, so why? As I've said, because they want to ensure sales translate to consumption, not just transactions. So it's not just about the numbers. It's not just about the money. It's not just about inflating the sales, but actually downloading the file. And to at least to them that also translates to you listening to it. Okay. Billboard rule change effective immediately. Any direct to consumer store with 3 submissions. Do you want to go down, baby? Okay, you say bye bye to my subscribers. Say bye bye to everybody. Bye bye. Say bye bye. Do you want to go down? Say bye bye to everyone. Say bye bye to everyone. Okay. Okay, so any direct to consumer store with 3 submissions of illegitimate data. So all of this, they are going to report to Billboard, right? Whatever sale they make. So whatever report they make, that is going to be audited by Billboard. If they violate anything 3 consecutive times within a 12-month period, then all of their songs will be suspended from the chart for 90 days. Okay. Angel Star said, okay, thank you. Treat for Debak. Thank you. He really loves treats. He likes anything with peanut butter. Okay, that's his favorite. Okay, so this is for singers using shady tactics. For example, using bots or fake sales. They risk lose this penalty is so that they at the very least get threatened or scared because they are going to lose chart presence entirely for months, which is a huge penalty that's going to hurt if you are a new singer. And Billboard is saying that they want to deter fraud and enforce data integrity, responding to years of criticism about chart rigging. So I don't know if you remember this, but performers like artists like The Weeknd, they've been caught inflating their sales, using bot to purchase. Oh, sorry. The Weeknd has categorically denied any kind of accusation, any kind of activity that is fraudulent. Okay, so he categorically denied his involvement in that. So he's saying that the streaming farms that were raided and were discovered streaming his songs, he has nothing to do with it. Okay, so he denies that categorically. So let me rephrase. Some artists have been accused of using shady tactics like bots and reporting sales streams in order to chart. Okay, so they want, and this has been an ongoing complaint of many singers. So this move of Billboard is supposedly to deter singers from doing that. Okay, next. Billboard rule change effective April 4. So that was immediate, the penalty, but this is effective April 4. Minimum price for all D2C exclusive digital albums has been raised to $7.99. So they cannot go lower than $7.99 for an entire album. Okay? It has to be $7.99 or others. So Also effective April 4, minimum price of albums increasing at all retailers. For CD, 7.99, cassettes, 7.99, and for vinyl, it's 15.99. Okay? Why? Because it has become very, very common for artists or for labels to pull down the price of the CDs or the digital singles to something so low just as so they can encourage fans to buy more and inflate the numbers, and of course push their favorite artist higher in the rank. One of the most popular um, promo that happened that way was 3.99 for Blackpink's Born Pink album. They pulled the price to 3.99 on iTunes. So now Billboard is saying you can't do that anymore. If it is an album, it has to be 796. Sorry, if it is a digital album, it has to be at least 7.99. If it is physical, if it's a CD, 7.99, cassette, 7.99, and then vinyl at 15.99. Now, by the way, Blackpink is not the only one who has done it. There's even Western um, artists that are doing it. For example, Chappelle Rowan actually pulled her price to 6.99 as well. Okay, so for her album. So it's not only Blackpink who has done it. Rosie has also pulled down her digital album to 4.99. Okay, so very, very low. And these are full albums, okay? I would understand 4.99 if it is a mini album. So a mini album would have at least 4 or 5 songs, I would say, right? That's usually a mini album. So if you are pricing it at 4.99, that's fine because that means your song is a little less than $1. Fine, because the digital single is 69 cents. Okay, 4.99 is okay if it is a mini album, but these are full albums. They're pricing it at 4.99 or lower, 6.99. So Billboard is saying you can't do that anymore. Okay, next, only 4 digital direct to consumer exclusive versions will be allowed for the life of an album. Just want to make it clear, this is direct to consumer exclusive versions only. Okay, so they're not saying that you can't have more than 4, but you can't have more than 4 direct to consumer digital exclusive versions. Okay. So tricky because everyone thought, oh, finally, just 4 versions. No, 4 versions of digital direct to consumers. You can still have more than 4 versions for as long as it is not digital direct to consumer. In other words, if I have 4 direct to consumers digital version and then I have 4 more Target version and then I have 4 more Walmart version, I'm good. Or I have 4 iTunes only version and then 4 Spotify only version, you're still good. Okay? Very tricky when it comes to the language. Okay. Impact: artists who flood direct to consumer stores with multiple versions, alternate covers, bonus tracks to encourage repeat buyers will now be capped. This hits singers with large dedicated fan bases hardest as they often maximize sales through variant proliferation, aka K-pop. But as I've said, as I've shown you before, it's not just K-pop that's doing it. Other artists are also doing it. I don't understand all versions. You don't understand all the versions? What do you mean? Okay, just some comments here. I wonder how long, one Hachan said, how I wonder how long they go until they change the rules again in favor of their plans. That's actually part of my discussion in a bit. Um, Golden Digital Album at some point was also 4.99. Right, Carla Girl was very, very slick tricks. They need to limit versions, to be honest, but this is a start at least. 16 versions still okay. Yeah. So the only thing that they're limiting to 4 is direct to consumer digital versions. As I've said, so if it goes like 4 Spotify versions, 4 iTunes versions, you're still good. So the 4 is only limited to direct to consumer. Okay. Next. These rule changes are actually like very entertaining. Digital direct to consumer exclusive versions cannot be put up for sale during the first of the week. Sorry, during during the middle of the first week. This is very, very common. A lot of singers actually do this. A lot of K-pop acts actually do this. They would drop a digital DTC, direct to consumer version, in the middle of the tracking week to boost the sales. To boost the sales. So remember, they cap the number of albums that you will buy. So um unique albums that you will buy. So if there are more unique versions, you can buy more. That's the principle behind it. So Billboard is now saying either need to be available for pre-order or held for a later week of release. Okay, you cannot do that in the middle of the first week anymore. Okay. Artists can no longer drop last minute digital variants to counter weak early sales forecasts. This levels the playing field, forcing strategic planning over reactive chart manipulation. Singers who depend on this tactic will lose a key tool for a first week boost. So I can name at least 10 K-pop acts who have done this, but I'm not going to because that's not what we're here to do. We're just here to try and understand the rule changes, but that's basically what they're trying to do. That's who they're trying to target. It's K-pop acts. Okay. So Billboard is saying that midweek drops distort charts by capitalizing on real-time sales data, undermining predictability and fairness. Okay. Next, Billboard rule change effective immediately. Physical, okay, we're talking about physical CDs now. Direct to consumer shipments which fall outside of established sales trends will require the reporting store to provide enhanced tracking status along with other info such as geolocation data and if a VPN was used to make a purchase. Eddie said, name them. I'm going to. It's not my channel already gets like reported extensively by fans of you know who. So if I start naming them, I'm just going to invite more haters to my channel. Okay, and I haven't established a backup channel yet, so wait for that, and then I'll start dropping it. Okay. Um. So now a lot of the part of the manipulation that people are doing is that they're actually ordering excuse me, they're ordering albums and getting it delivered I don't know if you know I don't know this. They're getting it delivered to random addresses. Would you believe that? In the US. So the person like from whatever the other side of the world will start ordering the album and having it delivered and will get it delivered to like random addresses. So so now Billboard is saying you can't do that anymore. You're gonna have to give us the geolocation data of the person who ordered, and we need to know if a VPN was used to make the purchase. So it's funny. Like somebody it um what do you call this um this what is it called when that's where dead people go to get embalmed? What do you call that? The somebody in Nevada, an establishment in Nevada, actually actually got CDs. I guess some fans saw them online and just got the CDs delivered there. Imagine, imagine the kind of manipulation. A funeral home, is that where? Okay, so there. So this targets bulk or suspicious physical sales, often used to boost first week numbers. So singers relying on mass physical pre-orders from international fans or coordinated fan campaign may see reduced chart eligibility. However, it can also mortuary. There you go, mortuary. So smaller artists with less established sales patterns might also face scrutiny, and it could be unfair for them as well. But no rule is perfect. So you can kind of, for this rule, you can kind of see the effort to try and avoid this cheating manipulation of the chart, but it's not perfect, right? As I've said, like smaller artists can also get targeted. So Billboard basically wants to avoid funeral homes, mortuary, and crematoriums to actually get CDs anymore, because nobody's going to listen to those CDs in that place. They all crossed the rainbow bridge already, so let's leave them alone. So Billboard wants to actually avoid that from happening. But believe it or not, a lot of people are actually doing that just to help their favorite artists actually chart. um Especially if you have like a business. So usually in the US, if you have a business, it is listed in Google My Business. A lot of fans will just randomly put the address of this businesses, and then they will have the CDs delivered there. So it's gonna look like it is unique because it's a unique delivery address. But the thing is that this people who's actually getting the CDs don't know anything about that. So crazy. I did not know that people fans will actually go that far to act just to manipulate the chart. Okay, now this is the latest one. Let me just scroll and see if they put another rule in. Okay, so far this is the latest development. Minimum price of a digital single in order to count towards Billboard charts will remain unchanged. The 0.69. So prior to them putting this in place, it used to be 4.99. So now they increased it to 0.69, and they want to keep it that way. So for any digital single in order to count will have to be at least 6.69. One hot Sean is asking, could they gift it to the business? I yeah, I mean nobody's, of course you can give it to anybody as a gift. It's just that the person who got it is not interested in that. So it's like still chart manipulation, but it's very common. A lot of K-pop fans would actually get it delivered. They will just randomly scroll for an address in the US and then get it delivered there. Okay. So it's still 69.69 for a digital single. Minimum price for physical singles increasing at all retailers. So it's now 2.99 for a CD, and for a vinyl, it's 6.99 for a single. Okay. So Dodger Girl is asking, how did Billboard find out? A lot of the things that are a lot of these things that are common knowledge to us, Billboard knows. So imagine if it's very common for us, what more to people whose business is to know, right? So it's actually one of the things that I will be discussing about BTS later. But they know, like the things that are happening, these people in the industry, in these big labels, they know. They know. It's just that, and so all of these issues have been on the table. They've been discussing this with Billboard for a long time. So the primary for all of the sales, because remember, sales is the thing that it is the way that fans have countered, specifically armies, because this is how we became very famous. Like we can't control radio. Radio is controlled by executives. So the only way we can sort of counter that is through sales. So we started buying. And so since then it has never left their mind, like, okay, this is the way for fans to manipulate the chart. So all these things and more have been discussed with Billboard. How do we stop these K-pop fans from manipulating the chart? Okay. All right. So now let's go back to the discussion. Why is Billboard implementing all of these changes? Okay. So one is to improve their tracking. Overall, they want to protect the integrity of their chart. They want to remain the most credible music chart in the world. Okay. But it's actually just in the US, but they say it's in the world. So if they cannot prove the integrity, if they can't maintain the integrity of the chart, then they're going to lose that. And that's the one that they have going. That's their main selling point. Okay. So artists and their teams must now provide detailed tracking information for physical sales, which could deter bulk purchases intended solely to boost chart position. So remember, if you would notice, They have a huge thing about digital singles, digital albums, and physical albums. Again, because this is how fans are actually countering radio power, the control of executives over radio. Okay. Next, digital D2C restrictions. Limiting the number and timing of exclusive digital versions prevents strategies that artificially inflate sales figures through multiple releases. Now, this is targeted more for labels who are helping their artists to chart, right? A lot of artists are actually a lot of labels, specifically management companies from Asia, specifically South Korea, that are doing middle of the week, midweek drops in order to push their single on the chart. So they want to prevent that as well. For them, only the big labels from the US can manipulate the chart. Next, minimum pricing. So establishing price floors ensures that albums are sold at fair market value. The thing is that they what they kind of want to do is to price. They're saying that they want to price music according to the market, according to its market value. But many labels are foregoing their income. That's why they're able to pull down their price. They're foregoing their income, which is not much anyway when it comes to streaming and sales. It's not much. So they're further pulling it down just to be able to put their artist inside the chart. Okay. Redemption and verification, requiring purchasers to redeem digital albums and implementing bot prevention measures ensures that sales are legitimate and reflect actual consumer interest. It doesn't really, but they're making an effort. Penalties for illegitimate data. At least there's something for labels to fear. Although honestly, I don't think this is really going to affect the major labels in the US. It's going to affect labels from K-pop from South Korea, but not major labels in the US. So, with all of this, so I guess the intention is kind of correct. They want to maintain the integrity of the chart. But the question is this the right solution? Like, if your objective is to maintain the integrity of the chart, is this actually the way to do it, right? That's the big question. Okay. Number one, raising the minimum price of an album will deter casual listeners or casual fans, but not super fans who are the ones that are really manipulating the chart. Because let's face it, those that are super fans, they were the ones who labeled them super fans, us super fans. We're still gonna buy it. You raise it to 699, 799. I'm still gonna buy it. I don't care. I'm still gonna buy it. It's a difference of $2. I'm going to buy it. So I don't really think that they're achieving their goals. At the very least, it's going to affect casual listeners, maybe, but casual listeners will probably not buy the physical copy of an album. They'll stream, maybe, but not buy the physical album. So I don't think, I think it's an exercise in futility. I mean, good for the artist, good for the label because they're going to earn more, but I don't think it's going to deter super fans from actually purchasing the album. It's the same thing. It's the same banana. So I think it's a big, it's useless basically. Next is that I don't agree that all albums are created equal because there are mini albums and then there are studio albums. So if your album has like more than 10 songs, that's a studio album, that has to be priced higher than a mini album. So as I've said, like, who are the ones that released the mini album? V, Jimin, they're all mini albums. Are you going to tell me that they have to sell it at the same price as a standard extended play, like an EP, like a studio album? I think that's unfair. And I think this is a demonstration of just how much they didn't do their research or how much they didn't care. Like, 4 songs versus 12 songs and you want it priced the same way. I think it's very, very unfair. Even to me as a consumer, like, why will I pay the same price for 4 songs? Why will I pay for an album with the same price with an album that has 12 songs. It's just unfair. I think they have to categorize it. A studio album and a mini album, that will have to be two separate pricing. Um, Next is none of these changes address the fundamental question of fans, which is how can fans offset the influence of radio, which fans have no influence over, but music executives do. Remember that this is how armies actually found a way to put BTS higher on the chart. We realized, okay, we can't get into radio. We can't dictate radio. We can control it. That is controlled by music executives. Let's go to sales because the only way we can counter or balance their influence. And now they're taking it away. So to me, it feels like they're just looking at ways on how to stop fans from manipulating the chart, but they are not stopping the executives from manipulating the chart. So it's just from one manipulation to the other. And the other, meaning the executives manipulating the chart, is just the old fashioned way of doing music in the West. So there's no change really. Now, that being said, they said they're not done release announcing the changes that they're making and that they will announce more. And this specifically is more towards Billboard 20. It does affect Billboard Hot 100 as well a little, but more Billboard 200 more than Billboard Hot 100. But again, still doesn't change the fact that they're only stopping or they're only controlling the influence of the fans, but not the influence of executives. So, did we really change anything? We're just going back into the legacy system. Okay. Next. Oh, sorry. I thought I clicked it. Okay. Next. So, oh, yeah. So, look at this chart. This is the top 5 of Billboard Hot 100. Look at how much radio spins they're getting. 44 million, 29 million, 53.2 million, 21.3 million, 63.1 radio spins. And their streams are not so far from those that are in the top 50. So this goes to show that the top 10 is that they're actually manipulated by the executives, by the music industry. Because if this is any indication, if everything is fair, if you take out airplay, then the chart is going to look a whole lot different, right? This just goes to show just how skewed the chart is to favor the babies of music executives rather than the babies of the fans. Okay, look at that. Oh, apathy is number 5, 16.2. That's not too far from the streams of those that are in top 20, 30, 40. Peaches and Cream said, that's why I do not stream the competition. If you're using Spotify, they'll make you stream it. The other thing is that rules are one thing, but execution is another. So you're saying that all of these things are going to happen. It's the same thing. It's the same complaint that everyone has been putting forward. And you said you're going to do something about streaming farms. They haven't done anything about it. So, like, is this another posturing just to make it appear as if you have integrity, or are you actually going to do something, right? Okay. And then, as I've mentioned before, it only disempower fans, but not the executives. So the chart is still being manipulated. It's just that it is manipulated by executives. And it it does not, if it is being manipulated by executives, it does not reflect consumer sentiment. It does not reflect what fans are actually wanting to hear. Um, in fact, last last year, many songs were blocked. Excuse me. Many songs were blocked because they didn't like the political stance of some of the singers. So they blocked all of the songs just because they didn't like from the chart, just because they didn't like the artists. Is that a reflection of what the majority actually wants to hear? It's not, right? Because you're blocking it from the chart, from appearing from the chart, just because you don't like the political affiliation of the artist. I don't think that's fair. And the song isn't even political. They just don't like the political affiliation of the artist that was singing. So it's still, it only favors, sorry, it only favors it only favors the industry, not the fans. And last, Billboard audits labels, but who audits Billboard? They still are the be all and end all of the chart. Like they are not held accountable to anything. Now, true that the chart is theirs, it is a private entity. So um nobody has nobody is required to get on Billboard. Nobody is required to believe in what they're saying. It is a private entity. But just like any private business and private entity in the world, once you exercise enough of an influence, you have to be held liable to what you are giving the public, because you're starting to influence what people think. And that's what's happening here. They give off by manipulating the chart, by allowing music executives to manipulate the chart and disempowering fans. They're only echoing what the music executives want, but not what the fans want. So, all in all, it is good that they're making an effort to sort of update the chart, but I don't think they're doing it the right way. Now, probably they're going to be announcing more, but I honestly doubt that they're going to pull down the influence of radio, because that will effectively disempower executives. Okay. Carla Girl said radio needs listeners in order to exist. A drop in their audience will impact advertising, which will hurt them in the long run. Ophelia said, if it continues, then consumers will avoid and ignore. It begs the question of why they have been given so much power, because they were the first ones. They were the first ones to do the chart. Sorry. Do you guys drink kombucha? This is not a brand partnership. So I just like drinking kombucha. I like this brand and I like this flavor. Peach Paradise. It's This is not a brand partnership. This is not sponsored. Um Midori Lee. Radio stations are on a Kendrick kick. Super Bowl concert tour announced after. Meanwhile, I only hear idol bands on Pop 101.9 in Hawaii, an iHeart station. Ruth said, money talks, pay for charting. That's why they don't like BTS, because BTS does not pay, refuses to pay. They still chart. Okay, let's go see if you guys have questions. Okay, 1 second. On Spotify, you can choose to not have them play any more songs after your list is finished. I heard that there are some people who are still getting the recommendation even after they block certain artists, or even if they choose to not allow Spotify to push the next song once their list is done. That's what I've heard now. That's one of the reasons I've just decided not to do Spotify. Um, because they have commercialize okay, so I perfectly understand why Spotify needs to commercialize and needs to earn money. They are like anybody else, a business, so they have employees to pay, they need to exist, the CEO needs to earn his money. I understand all of those things. It's just that they have done it in such a point where it is so, they're not even respecting the sanctity of art at all. Like, I understand why you have to commoditize art. I perfectly understand that. We all need to earn money and pay our bills. It's just that you need to have some sort of respect towards the sanctity of art. They don't. They're just like, oh, we're going to do, you can now pay so that we will recommend your songs. Like, what? Can't you just do a regular ad, sell regular ads like Google is doing it? I mean, I hate Google too, but at least that's a better option than telling people, oh, okay, we're going to recommend your songs, just pay for it. When the entire design of Spotify, when it began, was supposedly organic algorithm, that the system will know what kind of songs you like, what artists you like, and that's what they will recommend. So if I go there because I like the Beatles, I like Michael Jackson, BTS, then I'm going to be get recommended those artists. So if I say I don't want any other artists, I just want these five, then they have to respect that. But now Spotify is saying, no, we know you like that, but we think we know better, so we're going to still recommend the songs to you. Like, come on. So that's one. Second is that they just pay super low. The payment that the cut of the artist is just super low. I would rather go to Apple Music. The cut of the artist is higher. Apple Music, the highest is actually Napster. So I would rather go to these platforms because they pay the artists higher. It is not as easy to manipulate. I'm sure that many of these labels are also trying to influence this music platforms, but at the very least, it is not as rampant as it is in Spotify. And this spot and even the publishing of the number of streams, the rankings, and all of Spotify, those are all to invite listeners to their platform and have listeners use their numbers to compete against other singers. Sandra is saying nothing is organic, not even organic anymore. J-Hope, new songs in English, so it might get more radio play. I play Kendrick all the time on Amazon Music. I play the whole halftime show. They get more for Spotify than for Melon, but still not high. Um, Mind spasm. Oh wait, mind spasm. I wasn't being mean. I promise. I'm glad you like them. Okay, Bang Luna is not mean. And people wonder why I quit listening to radio. I get tired and annoyed hearing the same songs each and every hour. That's a surefire way to get me to hate the song. I remember when I first got here, the very first company that I worked for only allowed their own radio to be played in the whole office. And I would hear Justin Bieber's song every hour by the hour. Forget that what song that is, but I'm sure I will remember. But like I think that was the first time when I it was confirmed to me that it's all payola. Like, why would I hear this every hour by the hour? So I'm in the office 8 hours. So 8 times I will hear it. Okay. I know we've discussed not looping when streaming playlists, but does playing the artist remix album count, or will it be considered looping too? It is not considered looping. It is considered looping if you keep on playing the same album over and over again. So you need to take a break from that album. BTS uploads song on SoundCloud. Will it count on billboards now? Carla Girl. Top 40 is basically only focused on 40 songs. Leia Burton, good one. Okay, I haven't listened to radio since March 2019. Spotify ranking according to A Brown, though Spotify rankings though are so pushed on social media to judge artist success, so that just like BB needs to change. They dominate the narrative too much. And also, yes, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree. And also it's the easiest, most um tangible proof of an artist's success, even though it represents a part of an artist's success but not all of the artist's success. But because it is very convenient, it's just there, it's easy for people to access, then fans actually use it. Like, I'm going to discuss it actually when I discuss Jimin, but like this monthly listeners, right? Like, oh, this artist has 150 monthly listeners in a month. Another artist has 125 million monthly listeners in a month. And then you look at their streams and then like, they have 3 million streams. Where did 150 million go? So, things like that. It does not represent. It's it's just, so I'm so apathetic towards Spotify. I'm like, whatever. So I don't really endorse it. I mean, I promote a lot. Not paid. I promote a lot of the different platforms on my X, and I just don't mention Spotify because I just feel they're so commercialized. They're so evil. They don't pay any respect towards the art itself. Jelma, Fairy Lane, what can we do now to support our idols against these new rules? Uh, so one way would be to stream and stream correctly. Get premium account because that always counts higher. So, and as I've said, I will show it in a bit, but there are certain platforms that are better when it comes to paying the artist. It's never going to be enough. Music, CDs and albums and streams, those are, they basically are nothing. It's like loose change for the artist. You can't make a living out of that. Um, so get premium accounts, stream. Make sure that you stream properly, you don't loop. You stream like a human being, meaning you're not just streaming one song, but you're actually putting different songs in between the song that you're trying to stream. And then if you're going to buy a CD, if you're going to buy something, buy a CD and buy it from a legitimate source. Especially if you're in the US, you buy from Target, you buy from Amazon, from Walmart, because those they count, and Barnes and Noble, because they count that. If you're going to buy digital single or digital albums, might as well do it in iTunes. At least those are better. If you want to really push for, which I suggest for radio, is just keep on requesting. So call the radio station. In iHeart and for Sirius, they actually have an app where you can log in and you request from there. So those are the ways that will allow you to support your artist. Now, the good thing about BTS is that we're already doing all of that, right? And that's part of the reason they hate BTS so much, because BTS has been able to achieve all of the successes without the push of major labels in the US. Actually, that's the next thing I wanted to discuss, which is Jimin. And as I've mentioned earlier, we're starting to actually raise the bar higher. So he surpassed BTS, his own group, for on becoming the longest charting song by a Korean native, probably by an Asian native as well, in Billboard Hot 100. He's now there 33 weeks, and that is official. Again, I'm not worried about this record not being held by BTS, because the idea is to raise the bar. So when BTS returns, they're going to break this record. When each of the members starts doing their individual activities, they're going to break the record. And then when BTS comes back again, BTS is going to break the record. We just keep on pushing and pushing the bar higher. That's not control or stop the growth and success of any member or BTS just because we want to protect the record. We don't want the record to be stagnant, because if it is stagnant, it becomes an easier thing for people to surpass. We want to keep on pushing it higher. Okay. Sun said, I would suggest requesting on smaller radio stations too, and have more natural conversations with DJs on smaller towns and teach them of BTS. Radio doesn't seem to play BTS when they collab with Americans. Radio needs to play more variety. Jimin gave us 13 different versions of who to purchase on iTunes and other platforms to keep it current and charting so it didn't drop off like crazy. Okay, so all right. So now we do need to stream who, and we need to stream premium for this week because a singer dropped an album with 30 songs, and Billboard is anticipating, they're predicting that all 30 songs are going to enter Billboard Hot 100. All 30 songs. Okay? All 30. So, we're all gonna have to stream like there is no tomorrow. So, please stream. All right. So, you can get a second or third account uh, using with any of these streaming platforms: Deezer, Napster, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, Pandora. So for Pandora and for Amazon Music, they're offering 3 months free. Okay, they're offering 3 months free. And the link is in my X, and I will post it here in a bit. But you can get a second device or a third device and get this offer for free. So 3 months free, and Pandora 3 months free. For Amazon Music and for Pandora, 3 months free. For Apple Music, they also have a 3 months free offer if you have a new device. If it is a new device altogether, I'll put it up in a bit. So you're asking who is the artist with 30 songs. I will pull it up in a bit. I'll finish this. So uh, for Pandora and for Amazon Music and for Apple Music, they have 3 months free. Apple Music for new devices only. Well, for all of this, it's for a new account. For Apple Music, it's for a new account and a new device. For Tidal, Napster, and Deezer, they all have 1 month free. So imagine if you get Amazon Music 3 months, it will be enough to sustain you until the kids come back in June. Right now, if you have another device, might as well get Pandora and Amazon Music, and you have two more streaming devices. Both are premium, so please do that. Okay, let me look for that singer. I will show it to you. Okay, it's better if I show it. So 30 songs, give me 1 second, 30 songs. And they posted a lot. They're posting the winners of iHeart Awards. That's why there's so many posts. Okay, I'm close to the post. Okay, here. Here. I will show you. Playboy Cardi. Do you see it? Playboy Cardi. Yep. He has 30 songs. And they are anticipating all of his songs are going to enter Billboard Hot 100. Now, I'm not knocking on him, okay? I'm not saying like he shouldn't be. I'm not doing that at all. I mean, he deserves this. He works hard. I'm sure, it's just that we have to fight for Jimin. We want that bar higher. So We know, come on, we know who the labels are trying to push, right? We know who it is that they're trying to push, and we know that they're trying to erase the record of BTS. If we do not raise the bar, it'll be easier for them to break the record, to take that record. What is the end game to all of the streaming? That is what I need answered. What do you mean, what is the end game to all of this streaming? What do you mean, what is the end game? We want them to chart. Personally, my goal is to keep the boys inside the chart, one, two, three, as many as we could until they return. I just want them to like, oh, we're on the chart. So that is the end game. If you're asking like for all of the streaming platforms, what is the end game? Well, they just want to earn money. Does that answer your question? Danji7735, it leads to visibility, endorsements, curiosity from potential newer fans. Did a BTS member win? Win what? I Heart? No, not yet. I Heart Music Award? Not yet. Okay. So, if Playboy Cardi succeeds, most likely he will, in putting all of his songs inside Billboard Hot 100, there's like a huge possibility that Who is going to drop. If he drops out of Billboard Hot 100, he is not going to return unless he goes straight to number one again. Like if there's like a push, like if it's used but for a movie and it goes to like number one or two, they're probably going to bring him back. It's probably going to be an exception. Otherwise, usually when they put a song in recurrent, that's it. Where's that? When they put once they put the song in recurrent, they don't usually put it back again. Danji said they have achieved that now. It's not going to go away if we don't stream like mad. It's for charting. That is the end goal of this of all of this streaming. Now, you don't have to, like, you can always, of course, just enjoy the music the way that you want to enjoy it. That I think is more important. If you just enjoy the music the way that you want it, for as long as you're enjoying it, I'm sure BTS is going to be happy. So this is more from the side of Army. BTS is certainly not asking for it. Jimin is not asking for it. J-Hope is not asking for it. So it's more armies wanting this for them to chart, for them to establish their commercial success. The more tangible the record is, the better it is for them. Okay. Danji, I don't feel pressured to stream or support BTS. I've been supporting them since 2015, but sometimes it seems excessive. I understand. I understand why. And as I've said, if you feel any kind of discomfort, if you feel like, wait a minute, this is more like a job rather than me enjoying the music, then stop. It's part of, if it's a part of your process in order to not let go of the joy of connecting with their music, then you should do that. You should definitely do that. I don't feel like Danji saying, I don't feel like BTS is going to disappear if they aren't on the chart. I agree. I agree. And I also, it's the same way, like, we used to always say, like, even if they don't go to Billboard Hot 100 number one, so they had consecutive Billboard Hot 100 number ones, remember? Like they had Dynamite, Butter, Permission to Dance, Life Goes On. So they had like consecutive, and everyone was pressuring them. Oh, if their next song doesn't go to number one, they're done or whatever. They're not done. So you're absolutely correct. They're not going to disappear just because they are on the chart, and that's why I'm emphasizing it's more an army effort. It's more army wanting to give it to them than them wanting it or needing it. So you are absolutely correct. They will not disappear even if we don't chart them. So again, like if you're losing the joy of connecting to their music because there's all of this, like people talking about, let's stream this, let's stream that, let's whatever, you absolutely have to do whatever it is that's going to keep you connected to their music. So if that means logging off and not listening to that, do that. Definitely do that, because enjoying their music is way better than anything else. Okay, one hotshot said, I see it as a way to show love to the guys, but I think we should all just do what we're comfortable with. Absolutely. Absolutely, one hotshot. Okay, so I'll continue discussing Jimin. So again, just want to emphasize Pandora, Amazon Music, 3 months free. And then for Apple Music, it's also 3 months if you have a new device. If it is an old device, you can have 1 month free and then free subscription. I mean, 1 month free subscription, and then you go to 10.99, I think. So for me, I've been a long time Apple Music and Amazon Music user. So that's just for me. And then I tried Tidal, and I think I'm going to give it a mom. It's okay. And then I'm going to try Pandora because they have 3 months free, and then my mom will just have the Tidal one. So they need to chart to perform at award shows, right? They need to chart to perform depending on what kind of award shows. Like for example, not all. Um, no, not all. Yeah. Okay. Next, it confirms. So many from the success of Jimin, a lot of things are actually um, getting uncovered, basically realizations. Many were realizing a lot of the things that many believe to be something, but it's actually not. We're starting to discover wrong assumptions, one of which is that there are many types of charts that are overhyped but are actually irrelevant. So for example, monthly listeners. Jimin, I think, has like 11 million monthly listeners right now. And then there are others who have like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 million monthly listeners. So you would think that if you have 60 million, 70, 80 monthly listeners, then at the very least, a quarter of that would be your daily streams, right? But that's not happening. A lot of other artists with way more monthly listeners than Jimin are actually doing way less in terms of the number of streams than Jimin. So it only confirms that many, and this monthly listeners thinks it has been overhyped by so many people on different social media, when in fact it is irrelevant. Many artists, if you coord if you do a collaboration with other Western artists, then their monthly listeners get carried over to yours. So something like this is, it does not, it is not a direct picture. It does not directly it doesn't directly reflect your actual performance on the chart. Okay. Now that's one. So I hope that people will just like not hype these things. Um, as I've said, like if you have 20 million monthly listeners, should result to at least 10 million daily streams, or five at the very least. But then so many artists have 60, 70, 80 million monthly listeners. And then they're getting like 4 million streams in a day, or two, or one, or sometimes even less. Okay, so I hope that we stop we stop hyping those things. Another thing is that if Jimin is getting some radio support, this chart is going to look so different, because his streams are actually not far from the streams of the top 10. So this is top 5, but if you go look at the top 10, his number of streams won't be far from their streams. The only reason that he's not in the top 10 is because of airplay, because he's not getting the spins, which a lot of people are actually asking, why is there no radio support? It is an English song after all, right? So why was Colombia actually able to get radio spins for Dynamite, which was an English song, but Universal, which is supposedly a bigger company than Columbia, and they're not able to get the radio spins that Columbia was actually able to get? I don't have the answers. What I do know is that it was a different time when Dynamite and Butter happened. It was a different time from now. So it was during COVID. People were really glued on their devices instead of going out. The other thing is that specifically for Butter, um, because we can say like Dynamite was such a okay. So for Dynamite, the CEO of Columbia actually went house to house. He marketed Dynamite to directly to the DJs. So he met personally one on one with the DJs to let them listen to the song and then have them and convince them to give the song radio airplay. Now, I think he kind of knew with Butter that it would be difficult for the DJs and the radio station managers to actually accommodate the song. So he didn't go directly to the DJs. He went directly to the radio station managers for Dynamite. But I think he knew it was going to be a little harder for him to do it again with Butter. So what he did was put his name as a songwriter in Dynamite. If you would remember, a lot of people criticized him for putting his name on Dynamite when he has never, ever written a song in his entire life. So, how was he able to create such a song or co create such a song? This is unconfirmed and this is pure speculation. But I think the reason he did it, he put his name in it, is so that radio station managers will feel like it is his song rather than a BTS song, which will make it easier for him to push it for radio spins. Now, that's just speculation. Now, a lot of the many other artists, this main strategy that they have done is actually collaborate with artists that are already on radio, Western artists that are already on radio, because that makes it easier. And then they sing in English. So that makes it easier for them to get on radio. Do I think it's a bad strategy? I absolutely do not. So what Rose did, collaborating with Bruno Mars, that's I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's fine. Um, the many collaborations of Jenny and the collaboration of Stray Kids, of Twice, all of those things I think are fine. They are absolutely fine. But the only reason it won't be fine is if they are unable to repeat that success when it is just them, when they are not. And this is not fine for their career. Okay, I mean, for all I care, right? But like, what will your legacy be if your lone or only hit song is with a foreign artist sang in a foreign language? So you need to at least sustain the success, right? um and even when you are alone. So maybe it would have been better for Radio Spin if he had a remix with a Western artist that would have gotten him some radio spin. But I don't think Jimin wanted it. I don't think it was really his MO, maybe, or maybe it was just something that it was something he couldn't do anymore, because remember, he was rushing to get enlisted in the military. But I think those are the reasons who is not getting the spins that he should be getting, even though it's a legit English song. So, okay, next. Um, there are also a lot of Western artists that have been accused of manipulating the streams with streaming farms. As I've said, The Weeknd is one of them. He has categorically denied it. He has said that all those streams that were streaming farms that people discovered that were streaming his song, he had nothing to do with it. Maybe it was somebody else, but he categorically denied being involved in that. However, having artists like The Weeknd and Bruno Mars, um, Kendrick Lamar, if they get him, Drake, if they get him, these artists are already on radio. So if you collaborate with them, it's easier for the radio to pick it up because the artist that's already on their station is in that song. Okay. Bang Luna said, I have a feeling that after this comeback, BTS are going to disengage from chart race and move like Coldplay. Okay. The other thing that this comeback, this success of Who is sort of revealing is that a manipulated Billboard hit will reflect on their tour numbers. So a lot of the songs that are charting well on singers that are artists that are charting well on Billboard Hot 100, Billboard 200, they are unable to translate that into a tour success. So some artists aren't able to fill up an arena or even a theater. And so in that regard, Billboard has sort of now it is possible that a singer is only popular on streaming platform. In fact, I don't know if you know Nora Jones. If you know Nora Jones, she's a huge streaming hit and people like listening to her on radio or whatever. But a lot of people said that she's not very like she sang very good live. It's just that because she's just sitting behind the piano, she's more she's better in a very very intimate setting rather than putting her in a stadium or maybe even an arena because she's not moving around. And then her songs are sort of very, very chill. So it's not a very lively event. So that's possible that many of the singers are good when it comes to radio and streamings, but not very good if you put them in a stadium or an arena. But many of the other songs that are doing well on the chart, some of those artists actually tried theater and their songs are supposedly bop, so perfect for a theater or an arena or even a stadium, but that they're not pulling the numbers. So this is a problem. No one has pointed it out yet, but this is a problem because then Billboard is not able to track or reflect actual trend of what the public wants. Um, because if this is a real hit and if this artist is a real success, then that should show and that should translate in live shows, but that's not happening. Okay, I know you're in your head, you're asking who is the artist that I'm talking or who are the artists that I'm talking about. I will mention it when I do my Patreon only live. Okay, I don't want to invite hate in this channel. So this is like a theater. I think there's like 500 or something, but not sold out. Okay, let's move on quickly because someone might recognize which one is that. Okay. The other thing is that I wouldn't say that fans like armies or specifically those that are Jimin biased never made an effort to do radio. Because in this probably first 8 weeks, 10 weeks, there was a heavy campaign on army side to call radio stations to play who, but we never got more than 30 points on radio. I think right now we're at 0.3%. We never moved past like 3% in radio spins. So it is obvious that stations are not listening to radio requests, to fan requests. And I think there has to be visibility on that. If you're going to say that your station is going to listen to what the public wants to hear, then you have to be visible on the kind of requests that you're getting. And I think one way to actually do that will be to put radio requests on the blockchain so that it's visible to everybody and it cannot be altered. So all of those radio request platforms should be on the blockchain so that it's visible to everybody. It cannot be tampered. Then we know we will know specifically what radio stations refuse to listen to the public, their listeners. Um, the other thing is that it's amazing how he has grown commercially without a lot of commercial support. And it's not like there's much that they can do. I mean, he was going to enlist in the military, right? I mean, he specifically released this when he was already in the military. So it's not like he can do a, a late night show tour or whatever. But despite that, he's been able to achieve this kind of success. So that is very telling for many labels and for many companies in the US. You know that there is something there if an artist without a lot of radio support, commercial support, is still getting commercial growth and commercial success. Bang Luna says most radio stations are owned by what, two or three companies. These conglomerates are the ones who control what goes on radio. I agree. I agree. So there are few small radio stations that I think you can hit. Um, Someone should actually make um, a list of that. Like for example, the Walmart. I don't know if you know this, but Walmart has a radio station. But that's a smaller one because they really only broadcast to Walmart malls and properties. So um, Sandra, they all make too much in contract negotiations. He got pushed when someone else had to negotiate. Now it's his turn. Teachers and regular employees deserve more pay, not Drake. Oh, why are we talking about Drake? Okay. All right. Next. Oh, I think that's it. Oh yeah, that's it. So I think the success of Jimin says a lot on the future. One, the future of music, and the future of Jimin, of course, because and the future of BTS in general. Because if you actually pull out, and I hope I will have the time to actually discuss BTS, the 7 moments, but if you actually pull out the mere fact that there wasn't a lot of promotion going on, but he's still charting not just on Billboard Hot 100, but also on UK and many other countries that we don't usually pay attention to. His ranking, and he's like breaking records. That I think goes to show just how much of a potential he has. But on a marketing side, it is definitely, if I'm going to be a marketer, this is one, and I'm going to recommend to my CEO who are the artists to approach. Jimin is going to be one of them. BTS members will be on the list because they rarely made any kind of marketing move, and yet they are still so successful. And it's just harder to see because only August D, Suga, and J-Hope have been able to tour, and both have sold out their venues. So, and there's this very old belief that there are certain members who are less popular than the others. So, but all of them are successful. So that is a big indication on just how far they can go if they do decide to go global, if they pursue a global career. Now, they don't have to if they don't want to, but I'm just saying, like, if I am the marketing person and I'm going to recommend artists to my CEO, they will be on the list. Okay, Danji, what doesn't Walmart have their hands in? They even sell funeral casket cars, etc. But I think their radio station only broadcasts to their malls, not on any other business. I may be wrong. I may be wrong. I may be wrong. But that's one. That's as far as I know. Like I know Sam's Club is theirs, so I think they broadcast there. But yeah, they do have their own radio station. Yes, the Telecommunications Act of 1996 consolidated a lot of radio station ownership to just a few companies. I think if K-pop wants airplay, Asians need to start their own station. R&B, country, Latin, all have their own stations. Uh, I think what the bigger picture of what Bang Shiyuk is planning From what I understand, based on the different talks that they have delivered and the different interviews that they gave out, including the interviews of people that are working with or for Hybe, like the people that everybody loves, Scooter Braun. He sort of hinted that what Bang Shiyuk actually wants to create is not what actually what sorry, what Bang Shiyuk wants to do is to not exactly join Hollywood, but to create his own industry. I think to a certain degree, Bang Shiyu kind of knows that the long term plan has to be creating their own space because they will never be truly accepted. I'm not saying that he's not trying to get into Billboard and get more projects in Hollywood. I think he's doing all of that. That's why he's hiring all of these people, and many of them are really good ones. But as far as I understand, the long term plan is to create their own industry. Carla Girl Bang Luna, I would love for BTS to move away from the chart game. I actually thought that a Grammy win would do it only because I know that they do want to win one. Wonder how they feel now. Uh, I think they kind of did they verbalize it? I think they've sort of they I'm trying to recall if what I'm about to say is based on something that they said or just based on my own assumption. So to be safe, let's just say this is my own assumption. But I believe they kind of hinted that they are not in the Grammy game anymore. Like they're not very particular about like it's like sure it'd be good if they win it, sure, but it doesn't seem like they're hinging their success on that. Like they're not measuring their success based on the Grammy win or something like that. That so yeah, so I'm trying to recall if that is something they said or something that I assumed. Um but yeah, it seems like they're more focused on like creating their like pursuing their creative identity and pushing themselves more than anything. Okay. I do see the commercial support though for who related to the versions, big hit social media posts, etc. Those are standard, like having versions, having social media posts. I think those are standards for all of their artists. What I'm talking about is actual paid ads. I don't see any posters here even. There definitely isn't any paid playlisting. There isn't any effort to try and court all of these radio station managers to get the song to play on the radio. Now, I'm talking about Jimin because only because he has the one that he has the latest achievement. But this is true even for other BTS members, right? I mean, outside of of Jungkook, no one really had radio spins. Now, as I've explained earlier, I'm not knocking on Jungkook for sure. Jungkook has been very clear in what he wanted from the start, right? He said he wanted to be a global artist. He wanted to be a global superstar, like a global vocalist that will be able to um, push sing different songs in different languages. So he was clear on what he wanted, I think, which made it easier to build a strategy around him. And the strategy was, how do you get radio support in order to help him get there? And so one of the strategies that they used was to get some, not all, but some artists to collaborate on some of his songs. So but other than that, in others outside of Golden, his solo release never got any radio support. So outside of Golden. So it's not, I'm not saying that, I just want to emphasize that I'm not saying that, oh, they should get radio support. I'm not saying that. I'm just stating a fact that they don't have radio support. Now, do I think it's important? No, I don't think Grammy is important. I don't think that Spotify numbers, whatever. I don't think those things are important. I don't think um well, I think Billboard is important because they said it's important to them for now because it kind of is a sign for them that other people, that their own songs are actually getting across people on different, speaking a different language. Now, is it important for them to actually get to number one? For me, it doesn't matter. I'm just stating a fact. that despite not having radio support, they all are still experiencing great commercial success. Does that make sense? Suga did say something to the effect that the Grammy is a local thing, so I've interpreted it them not fretting anymore about it, about getting a win. It could be that. So I've mentioned earlier, I'm thinking whether um, it was an assumption, my own assumption, or something that they said. So it could be that Suga actually said it's a local thing. Could be that. Standing Next to You should have gotten at least a little. It's such a great song. I think it did get a little. It got a little. It should have gotten more. And I think that song was perfect for Jungkook. It really displayed just how versatile he is as a vocalist. And I think that's also the reason they decided to make it a single. He decided to make it a single because it really demonstrated like the range that he has and how good he is, because that song had like 5,000 different tempo change or something. And he managed to do it just as well live as it is recorded. So I definitely agree. Okay. I don't think it's that. I think they want it because it's acknowledgement that the white industry has accepted us. Again, not trying to offend, but this industry established on white rule. I don't think they're particular about. I definitely don't want to steer this conversation towards like any kind of race talk or whatever. But I don't think. I think they're smart enough and mature enough to have very like confidence on themselves, and unless they say otherwise, I'm going to assume that they have confidence in themselves and that um they believe in themselves. So I don't think it's more about being accepted by white people, but more about being accepted by a bigger industry. Many of the people that they want to work with aren't even white, so that only goes to show that they don't look at race. It's just for them, whoever they think is a good musician, then that's who they will work with. So I don't think they're thinking about race. If they are particular about getting accepted by white people, then they would want to work with white people. And there are a lot of great white artists right out there. So, but their, their collaborators have been black, white, brown, yellow. Okay, they love winning in their own country. It would have gotten more attention if he didn't have to leave for K military. He would have toured, I'm thinking. Oh, for sure. And I hope he tours. I'm pretty sure he will tour. Okay, I have an hour and 42 left. I kind of want to go over. So I have two more topics here, three actually. But let's see. Yeah, the documentary. Um so there is a documentary. So there is a documentary about armies. Uh but I haven't made an investigation, but they're saying that uh the maker, the creator, the director, the creator of this documentary has kind of like a questionable background. I haven't made my own investigation, but I will. And once I do, I'm going to update everybody. But that's what I heard. So yeah, they look at race. We all do. Do you live in America? I do, and I refuse to believe up until I actually am able to prove it. I will not think of BTS or anybody for that matter to be racist. And that's where I will end it. I don't want to get into any kind of race talk in this channel. So that's just for unless I actually see otherwise and I'm able to prove otherwise, I will assume that BTS members and everybody else don't look at race. They may look at culture, but not race. So I will leave it at that because I don't want any kind of race. It's just I always when people start talking about race, there's just division instead of of getting people together. And what I want is to get people together. That's what I want. That's why I want I want us to be united with music, not talk about race. So I apologize, but I can't entertain any more discussion about races because it's just also I'm not an expert. So and I don't feel confident talking about something I am not an expert on. Not that I'm an expert on whatever, but specifically this because it's so sensitive, and as I've said, it always causes division. And one of the reasons I decided to do this channel is so that we can all come together and find something in common. So I will drop it, and I'm sorry, but I will not entertain any more of race related comment. If it is about culture, I'm okay with that. If it's talking about um, things that are innate in a certain race, I'm okay with that. But if we talk about, oh, people are talking about race or whatever, that's not. It's just going to divide us all. Okay, so let's all come together, find something in common. That's how we can all move forward, and then that I think from there things will settle down. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. All right. But I do, Danji, I do appreciate you being vocal. I'm all for it. Maybe in a private discussion, I wouldn't mind, but definitely not in a public forum like this. Okay, so again, I just want us all to come together and be united with music than others than anything else. Okay, all right. So I don't know if you're aware of Les Seraphim, but as you all know, I love the girls, and they just released the last of the trilogy, and this is the hot era. Okay, so they released the carrier single is hot, that's the title of the song, and they released an English version of that, which I like because it was easier for me to understand. um but what really, and I posted about it on Patreon, I also posted about it on X, but what really uh sort of made a mark on me was the letter of Yunjin in relation to the song. So Yunjin is the primary songwriter of the group, and in this album, she participated in writing three of the five songs. And I would invite you all to listen to it. So Hot is the carrier single. It has a Korean version and it has an English version. And Come Over is an English one. They did not write that. It was written by Jongo, which is a band, I think, from UK, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So usually, uh, Yoonjin would actually write a letter after every era to to Fear Nots, and this was no different. So she left a letter in Weavers. So the same way BTS members actually leave letters. They write us long letters, right? So she does it for Fear Nots. So Fear Nots is the fandom of Les Seraphim. Okay. So one major thing that happened before she wrote a letter and before the comeback is that Source Music announced that they actually requested that the second hearing for their lawsuit against Source Music against Min Hee Jin be delayed to May. And so, just like anything else online, many people mistook that as Source Music not being prepared, but whatever. But the main reason is that Les Seraphim was going to have a comeback. And it seemed that the girls were the ones who actually requested that the second hearing be postponed so that they don't think about anything else and that nobody gets distracted. They just want people to concentrate on their music, which was, I think, a very, very mature stance. They're learning to actually um uh they're actually maturing in that they're able to choose their priorities. Now, where is that? Existing psychology. Sorry. I heard that English version's lyrics meaning was nothing like the original. Correct. So both were co-written by. Yes, it's true. Well, one is more poetic. One is more poetic, and the English version is kind of more direct. It's more prose than it is poetry. The Korean version is more poetry. That's the main difference. And so she wrote a letter. Reina, bye. So she wrote a letter, and I'm going to read the letter to you because it's so sweet. I titled her letter "Love Perseveres" because that's from her. It's not from me, but I thought it was it left a big impression on me. Okay, so let's read her letter all together. So she said, I'm not who I was a year ago. I have a new favorite artist. I drink a different coffee. I do more or less the same things, but I think in a way that that the person from a year ago did not know how. For better or worse, this trilogy has been a memorable experience. I write this in remembrance of the past year, all the unfathomable joy and unfathomable pain, and the questions life begged of me, because I want you to understand why it means so much to be here with you today. All of last year, I had asked myself, how do we survive this? To survive, by definition, means to continue to exist in spite of an ordeal or hardship. While I wish just simply existing had come easy, despite my best efforts, I do not remember feeling all that existent. What I do remember, rather, are waves of debilitating shame, doubt, envy, and emptiness. I remember nights of doom scrolling through comments knowing I shouldn't, when even my morality failed to suppress the longing for someone's kindness. I remember loneliness and I remember fear of the end. That what started as the small fire of my dreams had gotten so uncontrollably big that I was losing everything I knew. How is this surviving when I feel like I'm dying? But what surviving really is, the past year has taught me, is an experience contingent on accepting a kind of death. Just as building muscle is feeling weak and building knowledge is feeling dumb, fighting to exist is allowing yourself to fall apart. I suppose Reich was right when he wrote that clarity cannot be given to you unless you first live your question. Because the more I got up and asked, is this the right way to go on? I found myself gradually experiencing my answer. The answer was in my refusal of apathy. It was in the dinners I had with my members, in the calls with my family, in the small talk, which was never truly small, with our staff, in the letters from those who love me, their pensive pen and colored papers. It was a team lab. It was at Weaver's Con. It was the sweat on the dance studio floor. It lived in the music I saved. Even the tear-stained pages of my diary, they all had the claw marks of my love persevering. Love persevering. It is the embodiment of this album. I am thankful for the experience Easy Crazy Hot has been. This is the trilogy. I am thankful for the many versions of myself it took to meet the person I've come to know today. She's not perfect, but she knows how to stay grounded. She's stronger, wiser, and closer with the people she loves. I like her. In fact, I might even love who I am right now. And she's rocking the ginger hair if I do say so myself. Anyone who dares to love cannot make it through intact. I know that now. If there is any wisdom you can take from this letter, it is most of all that. Pain means I am changing. What a beautiful, exciting thing. And whoever I'm becoming, I'm sure I'll learn to love her too. Hi, Eugene. So it was a really powerful lesson. It was a powerful letter, one of the most powerful letters I've ever read of anybody addressed to anybody. Number one thing that struck me is that she was able to tell her story, and we know what that experience is, what she was talking about. We know what the pain was, why we know why she was doubting herself, why she was scared it was the end of it all. We know all of that, but she managed to tell the story without actually dragging anybody down. She didn't mention any names. She didn't even hint at anybody's identity. It was just all about her. And I thought, what a classy person for you to be able to do that and not drag anybody down. Number two, their music is really their story. So a lot of people are actually doubting if they are really involved in the development of their music. They weren't very much involved in the beginning, but this trilogy has actually seen them becoming more involved in the creative process. And so her co-writing three of the five tracks, including the Carrier single, both Korean and English version, reflects their increasing control over their creatives, which is a huge step for them. And just as she has proven with her letter, she knows how to write. The girl knows how to write. uh, and if there's any one of the lessons that I hope we could all take from it is that we hope, just like her, we honor our pain and what it has brought us. So I don't think anybody likes pain unless you're into that kind of thing. But I don't think anybody likes pain. But at least we have to learn how to honor it, the difficult things that we go through. Some people would actually honor it by writing it down through, like, a journal or a diary, or some people write music, some people are actually into photography. So it really depends, but I hope that you guys could learn how to sort of honor that thing that you're going through by doing something, whatever that may be. It could be a journal, as I've said, it could be photos, it could be recording your voice instead of actually writing, because some people are actually lazy. But I hope that you get to do that. Some people actually like getting tattoos. So that's cool too if you're into that. Next is recognizing the way that you're changing. A lot of the I what I've discovered is that this group is a mix of anywhere between, the majority of you is between late 20s to 60s. That's a huge range. But I hope that regardless of where you are, you recognize that you're still changing. Even those that are in their 60s, maybe even 70s, you're still changing every day. So if it would be good if you can recognize what are the changes you're going through, because it's going to let you appreciate who you are, and it's going to help you appreciate what you have become because of all your good experiences and bad experiences as well. Bye, Beth. In the letter, she said, I remember nights of doom scrolling through comments, knowing I shouldn't, when even my morality failed to suppress the longing for someone's kindness. And we all have gone through it, right? Like when we post something and we're getting so much hate, and we know we should just stop because the opinions of those people don't matter, but we still do it. And I guess you went through it. But another lesson is that we shouldn't expect kindness from people, but we do need to expect kindness from ourselves to others and to ourselves. So if we get to that, especially, I know that a lot of you are coming to me talking about your plans to actually um, uh, put up your own YouTube channel or maybe your own TikTok channel. You're going to go through a lot of hate if you ever pursue doing that. So no matter how safe you stay, you're still going to go through it. So when that happens, please don't do what she did. Don't scroll through the hate. And I guess that's the same thing with, like, people that are in your life. Even if people in your life, if there are certain people in your life that are giving you negativity, shut them down and just move on, because they're not going to bring you anything good. So be kind to others, but also be kind to yourself. Another quote from her: but what surviving really is, the past year has taught me, is an experience contingent on accepting a kind of death. Just just as building muscle is feeling weak and building knowledge is feeling dumb, fighting to exist is allowing yourself to fall apart. So don't ever forget that, especially when you're falling apart, you need to allow yourself to go undone, because then after that is when the building actually happens. Once you are broken apart, then you can be reshaped to something more beautiful. Another thing that she said, the answer was in my refusal to feel apathy. And the apathy is actually doing or feeling something without any kind of good objective. So you don't have to stop caring about things. A lot of people don't give an F about certain things. You don't have to stop giving an F. You just have to care for the right things. So it's okay. Like, If you're passionate about social issues or political issues, it's okay to be passionate about those things for as long as it does not, for as long as it is for the right reasons, for as long as you're not just looking for a way to, express your anger. But if you're focused on that because you know that's the way to something good, then do it. So it's not that you have to stop caring, you just need to care for the right things. Okay. Another thing that she said, even the tear-stained pages of my diary, they all had the claw marks of my love persevering. And this is my favorite part. That's my favorite part. Love persevering. And I've mentioned this in my ex when I posted. I said no one has who has ever loved said it was easy. Love was never about happiness. It has always been about selflessness. So if you're going to love anything or anybody, do know that it's not going to be easy. But for you to know that this is something you truly love, you have to persevere. So no matter what that may be, you have to persevere. Um, Next, she said, anyone who dares to love cannot make it through intact. I thought, what an ending for her. Because if you do love, you're going to be broken at some point or another. And it doesn't have to end like it. I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, by the way. It's any kind of relationship or any kind of love. If you're going to love something, it's going to break you apart because that's just part of allowing something to be a part of you. Okay. So I think that's the last part, maybe. So I hope that you give her a chance. Oh, yeah. So this is it. Every type of love goes through pain. So that's why I said it doesn't matter what it is that you love or who you love, you're going to have to be broken apart. And oh, this is the last thing that she said. Pain means I am changing. What a beautiful, exciting thing. I don't think it's about S&M, but I just think it's about allowing yourself to be vulnerable on things that you love. And if it's music or your students or your profession or your dog, you just need to allow yourself to be vulnerable and appreciate what that's going to make you. So I hope you check her music. I hope you check their new singles. Hot. Um, it's a no skip album, so give it a try if you're streaming Who and if you're streaming Who and Sweet Dreams and Mona Lisa when it is released, you might want to put their song as a filler, one of the fillers that you're using. It's no skip. And then once you feel like you need more, just go back to their start going back to their discography. So I've been following them for a while. And I'm really happy and proud of what they have become. Okay, do you have questions? I really like her solo songs too. Doesn't mince her words, but still classy. Yeah, so I like my favorite. Two of my favorites is Raise Your Glass and Blessing in Disguise. Those are my two favorites. So check her out. Check the entire group. I only know about BTS. That is okay. Evangelisa. That is okay. Whatever makes you happy, that is fine. Whatever puts you at peace or whatever, that is fine. So I'm just recommending. And I also thought it's such a beautiful letter. A lot of insights. Okay, do you have it's actually 2 hours and 2 minutes. Do you have questions? I left one topic that I can probably talk about next time. Do you have questions before I go? Sorry. Um, Miss Kim, once you're into Bangtan, there is no going back. Enjoy the ride. And what ahead? Where is or where do we go to see where J-Hope is charting? So there are different charts. One is Billboard, and then different platforms, streaming sites have their own charting system. But Billboard for the US is like the highest, most credible chart. And then for UK, it's UK chart. I think that's the name, UK chart. So if you want to follow the charts for UK, you can follow UK BTS chart UK. I think that's the name of the let me see. So this X account is dedicated to just doing charts, tracking the charts of BTS in UK. Okay, let me see. BTS here. BTS UK charts here. Veruca said, I've been listening to the live stream in the background while assembling IKEA furniture. Hi, I hope that you have assembled your furniture successfully. So this one, no, I don't have time to update 1 billion. I'll do it next live stream. I'm so sorry. I didn't manage my time well. So for the UK chart, that's a good account to follow. And then for Billboard, you can follow chart data here. And then Ruth, the result for the injunction, the result the result for the injunction is not out yet. Is it? It's not out yet. Not yet out. I think the last day they accepted any kind of evidence was on the 14th. Okay. So those two, who was that asking? Wait. So those two charts you can follow. Oh, so there she is, Deanna. So those two charts that I posted, you can follow those for the UK charts, and then the other for Billboard. MG said, "Thank you for reading the letter." You're welcome. Thank you for listening. um, Adults say, Fairlane, peanut butter is poisonous to dogs if it contains xylitol. Yes, yeah. So the one that he consumes does not have xylitol. Yes. Thank you, though. Yes. Okay. Evangelista, this is a great show and grateful to be here learning more about K-pop culture. Thank you for the opportunity. No, thank you for listening to me. Okay, so I hope everything's good. Just want to remind everybody, for everyone who's going to join me in the um, suite, I'm going to create the group this week. So if you can, please sign up in Patreon, because that's how I'm going to actually sort of coordinate. And then we'll just make arrangement. As soon as I get the tickets, they said it's good. I will have it 10 days before the show. Then I will send you all the payment details. So you can send me the payment. I'll send you the tickets, and then I'll see you on the show itself. And then I'll see you in Korean barbecue. Okay. My dog doesn't digest peanut butter well. My dog has no problem. Are you watching Owen High? No. What is that? Boy, when they're all out, I foresee a bunch of mic drop moments coming. They're going to redesign, they're going to create their own industry. Miss Kim, thank you. I'm so glad I found your channel. It's been hard as a new army to find honest news and info. Today was the first time talking to other armies. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, this is a good bunch. This is a good bunch. Um, Existing psychology, what peanut butter is bad for dogs. uh Also wanted to tell, before I respond to that, please, Miss Kim, if you can, please sign up in our Patreon. So if it's a free, we have a free tier. So if you just want to try things out first and not commit, that's fine. Most BTS content, most, not all, but most BTS content are free. And the chat community for BTS, that's free as well. So you can sign up. Just go look for Asian EAC. Okay. Um, Peanut butter is bad for dogs with xylitol. With xylitol. Lara said, Miss Kim, join us as often here. It's really fun. Me too. Hello, baby army. Oh, you're being welcome. Bora Henu army. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So please join us in our Patreon. And I don't know, if are you going to watch J-Hope's concert? Oh, Miss Kim is already there. Okay, what's your Patreon name? What's your Patreon name? Dance line is going to go crazy. I know they are proud, but also jealous of you going crazy on stage each night. I can't wait to hear them talk about it. Not real jealousy, just the cute kind. Yes, we understand that. Brisa, thank you. Diana Borahe. Dexter said you have full-time job. How do you find time to prepare all these high quality presentations and live videos? Because I enjoy doing it. I really enjoy talking to you guys. So I don't find it hard. You know what they say, find a job that you enjoy doing and you will never have to work a day in your life. And so I don't feel like it's hard because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy learning from you people. I enjoy conversing with all of you. I enjoy the banter. I enjoy the critical discussions. I enjoy all of it. I do really feel that I'm getting more from it than you are getting. So I feel like, you know, the the scale is heavily tilted towards my favor. um Hi is the new reality show of Hype Japan. The boys are so talented and cute. Danji said, I need you to do a fundraiser for my summer tuition. I don't have enough money. Message me on, I don't know if I'm good at fundraising. Message me on Patreon. I'll it won best new K-pop artist in Billboard iHeart. Oh, woke up late. I will watch it all. KAG. Okay. All right. So thank you everyone. So I'm still trying to manage my time better so that I can go through all my topics. So I will do the next topic next time. And hopefully by then I have formed the group already for the LA group that will go to Korean barbecue and everyone that will join me in the suite. Um, Robin, thank you. Congratulations, Eyelid. I love those girls. I love their lore. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you. Bye.